One goal is all it took for the Devils to pull out a victory over the visiting Boston Bruins. Welcome into your Genucel post-game live show. I'm Catherine Bogart. An exciting night for New Jersey, who is now 4-1 in this preseason. And the three stars tonight really stepped up for the Devils. You start with Michael Vukovic, who not only assisted on a goal, but also was key in firing shots on net and giving some offensive power to the Devils, despite being a defenseman. The second star of the night, Tomas Tatar, the goal scorer after he split two Bruins defensemen, went top shelf to score that one goal of the game. And your number one star, shutting out the Bruins, saving all 24 shots he faced, is Vitek Vanecek in his first shutout as a Devil. The offseason acquisition and a trade has really been a strong presence in the net. He's a great netminder addition, and he is expected to be part of that tandem between Mackenzie Blackwood and himself. Let's take a look at the third period highlights. Despite there not being a goal, it was still a lot of offensive activity for the Devils. You see here several chances. Holtz gets a chance. Russo gets a chance right here. They keep putting pressure on Kyle Kaiser. Unable to score and increase the lead, but still testing that Bruins netminder, trying to get another one. Alexander Holtz still struggling to find that finish at the NHL level, goes top left corner and hits the pipe. A replay right there. How close that was for Holtz. It would be a goal technically for the Bruins right here. However, AJ Greer is deemed as an interference to Vitek Vanecek. No goal. As we go into the final 4 minutes of the game, the defense is crashing. Vitek Vanecek is staying strong, and it is a no-goal opportunity for the Bruins. Jack Hughes is snake bit in this game, hitting the crossbar once again, unable to find a goal, but he's just, warming up for things for the regular season. The final seconds wind down. The Devils are actually on the penalty kill here. They're able to go perfect in that special teams play tonight. It looks like assistant coach Ryan McGill is starting off the team strong despite not having all of his penalty killers here in this game tonight. 1-0 victory for the Devils, and they're all congratulating Vitek Vanecek on an incredible game for him. The goaltending has been very strong this preseason for the Devils, which is a very welcome sight after last season going through 7 different netminders, and also Tom Fitzgerald continuing to have to add new blood into this position. So a strong night for the Devils. They will face the Bruins in Boston on Saturday once again. But right now, your Devils are 4-1 on the preseason. And this is without the entire squad being together. The first 4 preseason games, New Jersey split the training camp roster in half and had half play then, half play the next night. It happened again, and now you're starting to see more of the formations form. We've had some cuts already. There's more cuts expected to be sometime this week, and we'll see who is there. We have Nate Bastian in the locker room live right now.
Most of my life at center. It's different in this league, though. There was times tonight, I think a lot of my game has been areas like finishing checks and stuff, and sometimes as a winger, you're able to kind of get away with doing it maybe behind the play. And there was one time early where I finished a check and I looked back and I was like kind of, didn't forget I was a centerman, but I'm like, I got to be more diligent here and, pick my spots a little bit better because I got more responsibility now in the D zone. So I think as the game went on, I got better, and by the end of it, I felt comfortable. It was fun.
You're a guy who, over the last couple of years, we've talked about how you've found what your role is, you play to your strengths. When they put you in this position where, like, okay, we want to see you at center, what you can do at this league, what does that say to you, and what type of encouragement is that for you?
Take it as a positive, I think. If they're willing to try you in different roles, I think it gives you confidence when they put you in areas on the ice where times are more important and you have more responsibility. So if that's playing center, I know in the face-off circle, that's something, if I'm going to keep playing there, that I definitely need to work on, little things like that, but all positive.
Got to ask what your thoughts on Vitek was tonight. Certainly dialed in. The only time anything sort of tried to get by him was with goaltender interference.
Yeah, he was great. I think times for the goalies, and everyone has struggled in the last little bit, and it's so nice to come to camp here. And we've had a look at a number of goalies, 4 or 5 goalies, and they've all looked great. So it's been great.
I mean, as a mentality going into a season, for guys who have been here, especially last year, and what you guys went through with your goaltending position, what type of, is there an air of relief in a way that you're seeing these healthy bodies in here?
Yeah, I think most
It's
teams.
okay to be honest about
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. We want those guys healthy and we want them playing, and they're such a huge part of our team. So most teams at this time of the year are feeling pretty good about things, and they're pretty healthy. But as the season goes on, guys are going to have to find ways to battle through injuries, and our goalies are a huge part of our team. So hopefully they can kind of snowball here.
What do you like about the way you guys were defending, particularly at the end of the game there, knowing that you were hanging on to that 1-0 lead?
It was good. I think I'll let Lindy be the judge, but I feel like as a team defensively, I know VTech definitely had to bail us out maybe a handful of times, but I think we're going to have some good D-zone clips on video.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
Nate Bastian, one of those players that loves causing chaos right in front of the net. He did that again tonight. He also played a different role than he did last season. He centered the fourth line, which is something the Devils are working on. They want to make sure that they have more than 4 forwards that feel comfortable in that position, especially after the injuries they saw last year. Now, of course, the top 3 centers that the Devils are expecting this season are Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, and Eric Haula. If any of those fall to injury, as Hischier is currently out with a lower body injury, then they expect players like Mercer and Bastian to be able to fill in on that center spot and cause some stability there. There's plenty of opportunities for some of these bubble players as well to show what they can do on the wing if one of those wingers is moved into that center spot. So being flexible, having the next man up mentality is something that's going to be key for some of these young players trying to make it to the NHL and stay in the NHL. But Nate Bastian, one of those players who's always net front, always crashing to the net, which was something that head coach Lindy Ruff was really pushing his team to do last season. We really didn't see it until the end of the year. However, now you're seeing more that Bastian and several other players like Fabian Zetterlund are just crashing the net, making sure that they're causing as many blind spots for the opposing goaltender. And they're also showing a lot of strong puck play and being really aggressive out there. Sometimes the Devils' offense needs a spark, and they're the ones who are starting to bring it on the third and fourth lines. It's great to see Bastian doing so well in this season. He was acquired back from the Seattle Kraken last year, and in his return scored a double-digit amount of goals, which was a career high for him. Career high numbers all last season. He spent the offseason really working on making sure he could have an impact this year. Last year was kind of his coming out party to the NHL, and this year he's expecting to try to solidify his spot. Devils head coach Lindy Ruff, though, has talked about how this forward group has a lot of young guys from Utica knocking on the door and trying to come up. So Nate Bastian, even Tomas Tatar have to prove what they can bring to the Devils night in, night out to earn their spot. Tatar did that tonight. He scored the lone goal for the Devils, and he was really close at the start of the second period on another one. It's his second year with the franchise, and this is the time that he's really going to start to settle in. He wasn't happy with how he did last year. He said that in his end-of-season media availability. I want to do better. I want to score more. I want to feel more comfortable. He's one of the leaders that's going to need to step up. You can't have the offense just rely on Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes. Both are great players. Both are great scorers. But you need someone else. Tatar's trying to be it. Alexander Holtz, who we saw in the highlights, missed it a couple of times. He needs to work on his finish here in the NHL, and that's been the biggest thing keeping him out of a spot here in the NHL. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we expect to hear from more players in the locker room. Later on, Devils head coach Lindy Ruff, and we have Matt Loughlin and Sam Kasan standing by to provide some more insight on tonight's 1-0 victory over the Bruins.
We promised them hockey, and hockey they will have.
The Devils make the playoffs for the first time in their history. The championship to New Jersey. The Devils win the Stanley Cup. And Marty Brodor's the winningest goaltender in the NHL. It's over. In overtime, Jack Hughes wins it.
I promised them Matt Loughlin and Sam Kasan are here to join us on the post-game live show presented by Genucel. Gentlemen, you were on the call, and even though it was only a 1-0 score, there was plenty of action, especially a lot of chances for players like Jack Hughes and Alexander Holtz. What did you see not working out for some of those players that were snake bit and just came so close to scoring and adding to that Devils lead?
Yeah, Catherine, I guess it is the finish, right? They just weren't able to score on the opportunities they had. Jack had one off the post. Holtz just couldn't, in his chances, put one past whether Keith Kincaid or Kyle Kaiser. And that would be the disappointing part, Sam, for me when it comes to Alexander Holtz. You want to be able to score when you're given the chance. That's what he's going to do if he's going to stick in the NHL.
Yeah, Jack Hughes hit a post. He had a couple opportunities, one where he had a wide open net and just missed. But Jack Hughes has proven with 26 goals last season he can do that. Holtz is the guy that's got to prove that he can do it. He showed a little bit last year with 2 goals in the preseason, but 24 goals or 26 goals in the American League, you got to do it in the National League, though.
Tomas Tatar scored the only goal. He's speaking with the media now.
All 3 games we played, the team played very well, and when team plays well, individual stands up, and I think we've done a lot of good stuff today. We could score definitely more goals than 1, so I think we're pretty happy. We'll watch the videos, the few hiccups what we did, how we can correct it and come stronger.
Did you feel unhappy with the way things went last year?
Yeah, very.
And so for you, just to come in here with that same attitude that you were just talking about, it feels fresh?
It does, it's a lot easier, to come the second year and, know the environment a little bit. And like I said, it was tough, the last few seasons with the COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. So this was finally, a good time, to get ready and do everything right way, to prepare. And like I said, it's not just about me. I think the whole team, after the season was pretty unhappy with how things went, and we wanted to come stronger. I think now is the time, to prove it.
When you see goaltending performances like that of Vitek or the way McKenzie has been playing, what can that do, even though it's just preseason play, going into a regular season, knowing that you do have 2 solid guys who are healthy?
Yeah, they played tremendously well. It gives you a lot of confidence, and when you see guys are making these extra saves, these saves what team needs to get lift up, and they've both played very well.
What gives you confidence that this year could be different?
Well, it's I mean, we all want to be better, right? I mean, it's not guaranteed we're going to be better. It's the work ethic every day you bring here. And like I said, with the more guys here with bigger experience, that work ethic's coming up, and there's different, voices in the locker room who can correct stuff. So that's great news, and it's very positive for us, and it's exciting.
Eric Holla from your time in Vegas, right? You played together briefly there. What do you think he brings to this team? What kind of assets does he bring?
Well, no, he's been on the playoff teams. I think he has a lot of games in the league, change different, see different cultures in different teams. And I mean, to reach NHL, playoff final, that's something, So he's been through these, difficult games where everything, matters, and he brought it here again. So I mean, there's more guys like that, who come, and there, you have to play a certain way, with the lead, when you want to, catch the team with the other lead. So I mean, it's great to have these guys who've been through the situations, and have them on our side now.
Lindy mentioned the other night he's a hard player to play against. As somebody who's played against him, is that accurate assessment of how he plays?
Yeah, we fought together, So it's something what he brings, to his level. He's a great 2-way player. Battles hard. He's hard on guys. He's has the right attitude on the ice. It's not easy to play against.
As a Slovakian player, do you find a sense of pride seeing all these Slovakians being drafted now? Nemec, first overall pick as well. When you're watching that over the summer, you feel prideful. That's kind of things that you helped establish as a growing that program as a younger player. And now here you are, these guys are getting drafted and possibly playing with you.
Yeah, we were together at the World, and I got the chance to see them to play, and I was pleasantly surprised. They play very mature hockey. They were listening. They wanted to get better, and next thing Slavi and Shimon are number 1 and 2. So I was extremely proud of them. I'm very happy to see Shimon here, and try to make it as much comfortable for him, as possible. And I think so far he's feeling very welcome, and now it's up to him, to show what he can do on the ice.
Is he an inquisitive kid? Is he that?
Tomas Tatar, the number 2 star tonight and the lone goal scorer in this victory. Gentlemen, Tatar talked about the struggles he had last year and how he wants this to be the different year for him in his second year in the franchise. What has looked different about the forward this year so far?
Well, I think it's depth. I think it's competition, therefore. Tomas knows he has this year on his contract. Andreas Johnson knows he's got this year on his contract. But they both know that it's not a guarantee that they'll make the club. The competition elevates everyone's battle level. And should bring out the best in a player. So I think that's what we're seeing. Now, yes, Tomas said second year. Sam, and I think there is a comfort level there. And let's face it, it was a lousy year last year. And so you come to a new team and the losing is there and it's hard. Doesn't excuse it, you're a professional, but it's hard. So add up all those things. I'll give him some credit that those did have some impact on his game, but I think the pressure's there. No one's going to give, Tomas 15 minutes every night.
Yeah, he's feeling the fire, that's for
Yeah.
sure. There's certainly a lot more competition, and we stake out where some of these guys are going to fall in the lineup. It's not just about where you are, but how you're going to play, players you're going to play with. Tomas is more of a top 6 player. He's built that way, and if he's not in the top 6, it's almost like where does his game land him? And last year he had 15 goals, and the thing is we know he can score. He has 6 seasons where he scored 20 or more goals. He had one season he had 29 goals, just off that 30-goal mark. So we know he could score, and I think that's what you're seeing from him this year. He had that beautiful backhand shot against the Rangers in New York that he scored on, and then in this game tonight, right before he got the breakaway, you saw him jump off the bench shouting for the puck. He wanted it because he had a breakaway opportunity. Didn't get it from Fabian Zerdon at that point, but then he did get it moments later and scored on that one. So there's a little more energy, a little more, exertion from him in those regards. And so I just think he's amped up this year. He just looks very different. And maybe it was last year just learning new teammates, new team, new system, all that stuff, but. Second year, definitely a lot more comfortable, and he definitely looks it on the ice. He looks a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, he has looked good this preseason. So has Vitek Vanacek, who's speaking with the media.
That the pressure will be all the time. There is a Blackie, Bernier, and then they are really good goalies, so that will be pressure always. It's best league on the world, so the pressure is there for sure.
And what do you sort of feel as we come down to the end of the preseason? Do you feel you need more repetitions, or are you kind of ready at this point now to jump into a season?
Honestly, I feel really good. Like I said, I play 2 games, 60 minutes, and then 2 periods. So that get me back, and then the practices too. So I feel really good.
Thank you, Vitek.
Thank you.
Quick, easy.
Vitek Vanacek talking to Amanda Stein after the game. He had an outstanding performance, 24 saves, keeping the Bruins off the board. The Bruins technically did score 1 goal, but it was goaltender interference, so no goal there. What has Vanacek brought to the competition with this goaltending tandem?
Well, I think he's brought a sense of confidence. I think that the rest of his teammates see that he can play well in goal. And I think Mackenzie Blackwood is pushed from 2 ends. One, by some competition from Vanacek. And Sam, as someone who knows the position well like yourself, Mackenzie just wants to atone for last year. So there's personal pressure. There's a teammate pressure. Maybe there's third pressure from the club, the rest of his teammates, to show Mackenzie or to have Mackenzie show them what he can do. So I think Vanacek's been a terrific addition. Let's be mindful of the fact that it is the preseason.
Yeah, it's obviously a much different game in the regular season, but we can only judge him right now on the preseason, so that's what we have to go by. And he's looked very calm in the net. He's been very cool. He's been very good with his technique. Hasn't looked overwhelmed at any point. And there were a couple of games where he wasn't particularly challenged. I think of that Rangers game where there were maybe 2 really tough shots, maybe, but it doesn't matter because even if it's an easier shot and the team's playing well in front of you, your job is to stop the pucks that are put on you, and he did that against the Rangers. He did it tonight, certainly. In fact, he stopped all 24 shots that were put on him. And, Craig Smith got in behind the Devils' defense at one point and made a quick, right here, as he made this quick push with the backhand shot, and Vanacek was right there slamming the pad on him. So he had a couple tough saves, and he made the saves. And even if it hasn't been the stiffest of competition he's seen with some of these teams, I mean, you can only play who you play, right? So you can only face the shots that you face, and he's done his job and turned them aside.
And work on your game. And so it's not necessarily about the wins and losses, though the wins feel awfully good. It's about rounding your game into form, working on things you need to get ready. As he said, he's played 2 full games and 2/3 of another, so he's seen enough action. He'll probably, Catherine, as you know, see time in one of the next 2 games. I presume Mackenzie Blackwood will start on Thursday, and then we'll see what Lindy does in the final preseason game against Boston on Saturday. But, Vanacek's looked good. He handles the puck well, and I think he plays good positional hockey, especially at the end there. He didn't see that one of those last shots, but he was in perfect position to keep it out of the back of the net.
Matt and Sam, there was one point in the broadcast where a certain co-leading scorer last year would not shoot the puck when he had the opportunity. So let's talk about what it means to get the timing right, because these preseason games, yes, it's an opportunity for these players to show what they can bring, who should be partnered with who on the back end, who should be on a line together, but it's also a chance for these players to really get their timing right. So what did you see that Jesper Bratt, Alexander Holtz, these players need to work on when it comes to shooting the puck when they're open?
Well, for Holtz, it's a good question because he's had chances, right? He just hasn't put the puck in the back of the net. So maybe he's stymied a little bit. I don't know whether he needs to take a half second longer, needs to pick corners a little bit more. I don't know exactly. He hasn't been reluctant to shoot. Sometimes Jesper Bratt falls into the habit, and we talked about it, Sam, of trying to be too perfect. Jack Hughes thought there was chances for him to shoot, although he's not been reluctant to shoot overall. I think sometimes there's too much of that tic-tac-toe, highlight play, ooh-ah, as opposed to just put the puck on net and let's see if something good happens.
Yeah, ooh-ah.
Ooh-ah, yeah, the ooh-ah. The ooh-ah plays are really...
We do love the ooh-ah plays,
we do,
yeah, absolutely.
We do.
And those are the guys, and I think part of it is those guys believe they can make those plays happen. So when Jack Hughes has a great opportunity to shoot the puck and he tries instead to make a backhand saucer pass across to Jesper Bratt, now he knows if he gets that through, that's a goal. Jesper Bratt's going to score there, and he has the belief and the confidence he can get it through. Now, it's a preseason game. He's working on different things. If this is a regular season game and you're trailing 2-1, or depending on the circumstance, you want to see him instead take that shot, as you mentioned on the broadcast, maybe get that pass off pads rebound that Jesper Bratt gets to anyway. So I think for some of the superstars that believe, they just have that belief in themselves that they can make those plays. And sometimes you just got to be more cognizant of the situation and be smarter when they're picking their spots. And again, it's just a preseason game, so he could have been just trying a little something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different shaft on the blade. He's working the backhand a little different. There's all these different things going into it. But certainly when it comes time for the regular season games and when these things count, much smarter plays needed.
We pound teamwork into these guys all the time, or they have it pounded into them all the time. Sometimes you need a healthy dose of selfishness. You've got to be selfish, and I think guys need to shoot the puck a little bit more frequently. Yeah, it's nice. You want the other guy to get the cookie and you get the praise for the nice pass, but you know what? Shoot the puck. I think it's just a mindset. You got to want to shoot the puck some more.
If there's one thing we've seen in this preseason is there's going to be plenty of opportunities to work on special teams, particularly tonight. There was a lot of time on the penalty kill. However, the Devils came up stopping every time the Bruins had an extra man on the ice. You have assistant coach Ryan McGill taking over that unit that finished middle of the pack last season. What are you all seeing from this penalty kill, especially because you don't even have all the top killers out there tonight against the Bruins, yet you stopped them all 3 times?
Well, I actually think John Marino has been really good on the penalty kill. He was really good tonight. He's winning the battles, getting the pucks up to his forwards who can then clear. And a couple times he's been on his backhand in the corner and just found a way to nudge it to one of his teammates who had a better chance to get the clears. And he was key tonight. Haula winning faceoffs. I mean, when you win the faceoff, that's an easy clear. You win the faceoff, you get the draw, you just send it down the length of the ice. And another thing I really like is Yegor Sharangovich. It seems like every time he's on the ice for these penalty kills, even when it's cleared, he's pressuring. So he's in the offensive zone, pressuring the lone carrier or the 2 carriers or whatever. And it seems like every time there's 1 or 2 instances where he draws so much attention that it burns another 10 or so seconds. And that 10 or so seconds could be the difference between a power play scoring and not. So I think it's all those little things and those little efforts, but those are the things that kind of jumped out to me.
Yeah, and I think they also benefit. Look, the Devils' power play hasn't been that good because they haven't had time to work on it. Penalty killing's a lot easier, right? You just kind of maintain your spot, protect lanes. And so I think PKs are ahead of PPs at this time of the preseason. But, the penalty kill was pretty good last year. It was the power play that was really the Achilles heel. So, what Ryan's done is just supplement some of the core principles that were there last year. I think they're still trying to find some forwards who can play on the penalty kill with Jimmy Vesey going and with Nico Hischier out. So they're trying to figure that out just a little bit more. But, certainly solid work. And, a moment ago I was just looking down. Fabian Zetterlund, who shoots the puck, we were talking about that. He had no shots on goal tonight. I was kind of surprised. That man likes to shoot, Catherine.
You are right on that one, Matt. Let's actually take a look at the highlights tonight because I really want to show how many opportunities the Devils did have in this contest, even though they only scored once. So New Jersey is playing Boston for the first of 2 times this week. The second time will be on the road on Saturday night. And right off the bat, 11 minutes in, you have Jesper Bratt, who we need to shoot quicker, setting up Miles Wood for an opportunity. So it was a very low-scoring game, but this was a great opportunity by Wood. But then it would be Tomas Tatar, who does score with 9:05 left in the first period, going top shelf, splitting 2 Bruins defenders, and this was just a really pro move by the veteran forward.
Pretty pass by Vukovic as well in his first preseason game. Just right up the center of the ice and good protection of the puck against Letarian, scoring his 3rd of the preseason.
Tatar does lead the team with 3 goals and 4 overall points. Vanacek comes up with 2 big saves here in this first period. The first one here, a breakaway by Craig Smith, and then with 1:40 left, he keeps the 1-0 lead for the Devils, another big stop. When you head into the second period, Tomas Tatar, once again, trying to get another goal. He comes up short, but it's a great performance by Tatar tonight. Robbie Russo, the defenseman, hits the crossbar right here, so close to scoring, and Russo was all over the ice. He really was a noticeable player in this game. Vitek Vanacek comes up with another big save here, 17:33 on the clock. He is a key reason why the Devils were able to win 1-0 tonight. Jesper Bratt gets this chance. He does not shoot. I mean, you guys were yelling, shoot the puck on the broadcast. Come on, Jesper, listen to us
Not
here.
easy. Go bar down, though, when you're that close. Almost scored there.
Exactly. Another really close opportunity. You have Johnson, who does try to tip it, and some great defense by the Bruins to keep it. Alexander Holtz, we have talked about his inability to finish his chances, and this is just one of those. If he had lifted that, that would have been a goal.
Yeah, and Beecher hounded him from behind. Give John some credit there, but yeah, that one you want him to see.
Hughes had a couple chances in this game and just came up short in all of them. You know what? I'd rather he miss these on the preseason and gets them in the regular season. So shake that rust off, Jack. It's all okay. We go to the third period. Another great chance by Holtz, but unable to score. You have Robbie Russo again shooting. I mean, Russo was all over that. He did not look like a defenseman at times. He looked like he was just a forward.
Look at him here, shooting again. You're right. Like take note, fellas.
Yes, Alexander Holtz, top left corner, so close. You can just tell the frustration that he has, and this is a game that he's going to look back at and say, what do I need to do just a little bit different to get that NHL goals? You do have this one actual Bruins goal that is called back because former Devil AJ Greer is goaltender interfering there. And then in the final 4 minutes, Vitek Vanacek with another big save. As the time winds out here, the Devils are actually on the penalty kill. That's something to note. They were perfect tonight in that aspect of special teams, and the Devils are able to go 4-1 in this preseason so far, picking up a 1-0 victory over the Bruins. It really is a good start for this New Jersey team. However, you need to make sure you're starting this well in the regular season as well. You can start great in preseason, but these points don't matter. We're going to show you the 3 stars from tonight. An assist from Michael. He had an outstanding performance and was really one of those guys firing as much as he could on goal, which is something head coach Lindy Ruff stressed last year. Tomas Tatar, who is the lone goal scorer tonight. Look at this beautiful goal once again. I can't get enough of it, guys. It truly is.
It was very pretty. He's a goal scorer. There's no question.
And then you...
Vanacek, the number 1 star. And if you get a shutout and you don't give the goaltender the number 1 star, you got to deal with Chico Resch. So he would have come from Minnesota. And by the way, Chico will be back for the start of the regular season. But Chico would have made his way to the rink and made sure that he found out who adjudged someone other than Vanacek to be the number 1
Always a fun tradition when the number 1 star signs the camera lens. I wonder what they do with those guys. They might need to bring some of them up to the studio. I would love to see those firsthand.
Chico to sign some of those.
Yeah.
He's been the number 1 star on a few occasions.
Yeah, I do wonder what they do with those.
I don't know. Probably auction them off or something.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Maybe
we'll
just take
report
a cloth
back
and clean it off for the next game. Who knows?
Thanks
Not
for the
really
effort.
sure. But there's a smudge here. No, that's an autograph. What do you do?
Well, regardless, we will find out and give you that answer on the next post-game show. We're going to take a quick break here. We are still expecting Devils head coach Lindy Ruff to talk after this 1-0 victory.
How do you want me to introduce you? Should I say superstar? What do you want, superstar? Future best player in the NHL, Jack Hughes here. No pressure.
Go
Jack Hughes.
Team handled themselves, especially defending against a 1-0 scoreline for most of the game?
I like the way we defended. Got back to, breaking the puck out pretty efficiently, not giving up a lot of shots, not giving a lot of chances. It looked like the first 3 games. The third and fourth, the second and third period the other night were better, but the first period was something that we wanted to put behind us.
What have you liked about the way Vitek has carried himself with this opportunity in front of him?
You know what? He's made the big save at a key time in the game. Probably look at 2 or 3 saves. He didn't have a lot, but he made the breakaway save on the mistake where we let the guy get in behind us. The play in the second period when, bad change and the guy was all alone, he just showed really good composure. And there was a couple of tip plays that, he was able to track the puck and make the save. And, you get those saves, gives you a really good chance to win.
Overall, he's not going to save everything all season long, but whether you're a player on the ice watching that type of performance, one of the regulars who weren't playing tonight watching that, how can it sort of change a mentality or maybe alleviate something going into this season?
Well, I think we're working hard on our play away from the puck. I think everybody can tell that, and the shots have gone way down. I think even if you look at the shots in the first period tonight, 6-6. Our defensive game, we've gotten pretty good order for now. That lineup that they had, wasn't a strong lineup. You take it for what it is. He still gave us those saves. Our structure was good. And I just felt we probably left 6 or 7 goals out there. We just missed too many good chances.
Having Alex Holtz play on a line that didn't involve Jack Hughes, was that something that was intentional to see how maybe he plays with other players of different types of talent?
Yeah, just to look at, sometimes, a player will fit better with somebody else. Dawson has good success at finding guys below the goal line. I think he hit Holtzy a couple times. So, his chances were there again tonight. He had a couple of really good opportunities. And it's just to look at with a couple different players.
What do coaches love the most about having a player like Eric Howla on their team?
Well, he gives us really good hard compete. I think he's a veteran player that knows that, wall play and late in games and last 5 minutes, the importance of all the little things. Pucks get in deep, pucks get out, good changes, just stuff you learn along the way.
What's your assessment of Andreas Janssen so far?
He's battling hard to, prove he should have an opportunity to make this team. I think inside the games he's had some struggles. There's been opportunities that have gone by him, but trying to give him every opportunity to find his game.
When you look at the missed opportunity tonight, passes away on a breakaway, what was your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction is always, something better could have happened out of that.
Nate at center there, when I was talking to him, he said it's been a while since he's played that position and felt that maybe he got a little more into the groove in terms of his coverage towards the end of the game. What did you sort of see, and what were you hoping for him in that position that you haven't really put him in that much?
No, I put him in a tough situation. Obviously, he hasn't played. I had a conversation with him when the last time he had played, and it's been a while. But I like the versatility of different players going in the middle, or even center going out and playing on the wing. You take a look at what Mercer did, and so wanted to see what that option would look like.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you, Lindy.
Devils head coach Lindy Ruff after the 1-0 victory for his team, which puts New Jersey at 4-1 on this preseason so far. Matt, Sam, what are your final thoughts from tonight's game?
Just want to echo what Lindy said, Catherine, and that's about Vitek Vanacek made the saves that he had to make at crucial times. It was only a 1-0 game, and if he lets one of those get by, it's a different game. And then maybe the Devils' confidence sags a little bit. Boston's confidence increases. There's a surge. It wasn't a great game, I didn't think, overall. Yes, if some of the Devils' opportunities had gone home, it would be a different story. But I think it was a 1-0 game that Vitek Vanacek was able to make this, and that's what a goalie's supposed to do. Yeah, you want to make the outstanding one when it counts, but make all the saves you're supposed to make, give your team some confidence, give them a chance to win. That's a goalie's job.
Yeah, it was a grind of a game, certainly. There wasn't a lot of flow to it. It wasn't a lot of back and forth chances exchanged. It was a lot of whistles, as we noted, but a lot of games are going to be like that. You got to grind them out. You got to win 1-0. You got to win 2-1 and 3-2 in tight games like that. And you're right. You look at all the chances the Devils had. They should have had 4, 5, 6 goals probably tonight. But you're not always going to score on those opportunities too. So you'll have nights like tonight. And I think it's a good learning experience, even if it's just the preseason. It's a good learning experience how to win a game 1-0 when you're this close but not getting over the hump. And you think back to the Ranger game just a few nights ago, as we mentioned on air. The Devils had a 1-0 lead after the 2 periods in that one and ended up losing 2-1 after giving 2 goals up in the 3rd period. So in this one, they got the better end of it. They get the win, and it shows them how to learn how to do those things. And a couple guys, Tomas Tatar stood out. Alexander Holtz had quite a few opportunities, just got to finish. That's what we need to see from him. And Jack Hughes is Jack Hughes. So certain guys, I think, may have elevated some of their positions, and some guys may have continued to be what they are, maybe like a Kevin Ball, who seems to be pretty solid right now. Didn't do anything to hurt or maybe even help. But, there's a lot to be evaluated. But at the end, the most important thing is they got the win. They played hard.
I agree.
Gentlemen, great call tonight. Thank you for your insight here on the Genucel post-game live show. And for those listening on the RWJ Barnabas Health Hockey, Devils Hockey Network, wow, that is a tongue twister. Thank you for listening in. We had a great time breaking down this game for you. The Devils hit the road for their next 2 preseason games, and Devils hockey regular season is just 10 days away. So get excited, fans. Make sure you download the brand new Devils and Prudential Center app, and we will see you next time.